Please welcome back to the stage Rebecca Blumenstein and Jessica Bennett.
Good afternoon. I first want to thank all of you. The recommendations from the working groups are just incredible. We've been reading them backstage. I have to say, Jessica and I just got them. They are literally hot off the presses. So we will kind of be reacting to them real time. They will be published, at least one, and we'll see how many we can squeeze in. Recommendation per group in a special section of the New York Times that comes out on Monday, and there'll be a huge digital display as well, so we really hope that you can share them and hope that these can be a guide for people who were not lucky enough to be with us today. We're going to go through a few of them now. Our time is limited, so we can't get to them all, but let me start. For the task force, Building Strong Social Networks, the recommendation, which is right there, is to actively redefine what success looks like for your industry and organization and challenge the notion that continuing will be cost-free. And basically, there was a lot of talk here about communicating that the status quo is not going to be okay anymore and that behaviors need to change.
Number 2, beyond the lactation room. Eliminating the motherhood penalty. You'll basically not be able to read all of this text for a lot of these, so I'm going to tell you what you should take away from it. Recommendation, make paid family leave truly universal for employees. That means not just for new mothers, available to new fathers or anyone with a child, and employees at all levels.
Yeah, I was able to sit in on part of this discussion, and there was a movement to make it family leave.
Great.
And no parental.
Which is what we have at the New York Times.
Yes.
Side note.
Okay, the group Humanizing Diversity and Inclusion. This was a very spirited discussion, and there was a lot of discussion in this group about what would it be like if we could put men through experiences like actually going into a lactation room and having to leave meetings. And so that's kind of the context for this recommendation. If you put people in human and immersive experiences, it will teach them and help them to become more vulnerable and to understand the challenges that different members of your workforce are going through. So a really, really interesting recommendation.
Next, creating workplaces where employees thrive. I liked this. Reimagine the ideal worker. Ideal workers are not just the ones who work the longest hours and are sitting at their desk all day. We all know those. But they're actually ones who do great work from wherever they may be, pants free, pants on, whatever you choose, and do so while maintaining balance.
Okay, the group Disrupting Bias from Awareness to Action. This recommendation is pretty stark to completely redefine roles. We are socialized to conform to gender. Look at what roles men and women are asked to play within the team and enlist the men to do the birthday cake and all of those things that women often do in offices, to really think about the burden that different people naturally carry and trying to mix that up as a way to change the dynamic.
Women are more likely to be asked to do that so-called office housework and are more likely to be penalized when they say no. Mm-hmm. So give it to a man.
Do men do it?
Men are rewarded when they say yes because they look like great colleagues, obviously, which we support. Okay, balance in the boardroom. This was really interesting. The recommendation is to actually create a legislative mandate for the board of the future, which essentially would involve quotas.
And there was a mention here about getting different parties together and pushing through. We've had California, maybe New York would be next. Will machines decide the future of women in the workforce? Safiya Noble, the professor who led this, said that it was just incredible to get so many female engineers involved in AI in one room, and she actually feared that if there were some sort of bomb that hit, that it would really be a huge loss because they were all in one place together. But it was an amazing discussion, and there has been a lot of concern about AI and whether or not it's going to make bias worse. And so this is a rather urgent call to use AI to help us see our own biases and who we're overlooking and who we're missing. If the normative consistently gets us in the wrong outcome, then we need to create new norms.
Sexual harassment prevention and response. This is so tricky because there's not a lot of good data on what is really effective when it comes to sexual harassment. Luckily for you all, in your gift bags is a special section that has a piece written by sociologist Marianne Cooper, who led this committee, with things that you can do. But the recommendation here is when beginning a sentence that says, so-and-so has sexually harassed someone, do not follow it with, but they are a fill in the blank. Great person, really good dad, nice colleague. Take it for what it is.
So just don't use it. Don't ever use
Don't
that
add the
phrase.
but.
Yeah. That's all we have time for. So please stay tuned for the special section, and we will have more copies of this. And we really, really appreciate all the thought that you put into this. So thank you.